Alone in the darkness, we build the fire. We cast the spell as flames grow higher. Cloak of pride, feathers of flight, bring forth our friends from the depths of night.
I'm Justin Turner, and I am the color guard director and designer at Campbell County High School. The show is called Bewitched, and the show is about a group of witches who live in a forest, and they get lonely, so they decide to summon some friends who we represent as the band kids. They have a giant cauldron on the field. They put in different ingredients like their jacket and their plume and the hat, and out pops a band kid. From there, we have trees all across the back. Band kids come in, and essentially what they do is they want to have fun. So they start manipulating the band in different ways throughout the show, and they soon discover that their creation is starting to overwhelm them. And at the end of the show, they get kind of pushed back into the cauldron. Their creation kind of is their demise, and they sneak away, and there's one lone witch left and all the band, and she goes back into the forest. The show was kind of a collaboration. We went into a design meeting, multiple, and we start talking about different ideas that we like, and then also what's good for the kids, what they're going to like as well. That's also super important because at the end of the day, they're performing it. We talk a lot about kind of the feeling that we want for the show. We came up with kind of like a witch idea, and we were like, okay, this is interesting, but it's been done a lot. We always like to have that challenge of how can we do it differently. I kind of go into the meetings and I say, like, this is the feeling. I actually did what I wanted was like bubbly, bouncy kind of feel. I think that's, for me, again, fun to write to, and then offers a different feel. We don't want to look or sound the same as anyone else. Audio package is just as important as the visual, and how those line up as well. The cauldron is kind of the central pool of the show, so what everything is coming out of. We introduce the band member from there, the flute player. There's a trombone duet that comes up in there as well, and then also equipment. So rifle comes out of there. There's flags that come up and over and around it. So it gives us a challenge of how we use all of the dimensions of the prop. So working in, out, above, around, under, all those kinds of things. The trees kind of were something to create a mood. So we wanted them to be living in a forest. That was kind of the idea that we went off of originally. The trees in the back help us create a stage, and also we can play with like them coming in and out of the trees, and what that does with creating dimensionality with them moving through really quickly or moving through really slowly. Writing is really fun for me. I like looking at everything as a total package. Writing for this has been really neat as well, because you get to kind of explore that side of yourself that you don't really see often, which is that, well, depending on who you are, I guess, tongue-in-cheek, where you get to like play around a little bit and be a little goofy. And I think that's kind of something that people kind of shy away from because people are so serious in the activity, and it's hard for people to recreate that kind of like being uncomfortable. I think that's kind of what the show is about, is pushing yourself to be different and to be uncomfortable and to challenge yourself in other ways. So we just put a part in the opener, and this comes back to the cauldron. We have a flag toss that goes over top of it, and then the same girl comes up and around, and she comes in and she throws the rifles out of it, and then there's this big event coming into this one rifle toss, and it's just this really long, lengthy phrase where all this stuff is going crazy, and it's really fast, and then all of a sudden it's solidified by this one toss, and he catches it really well, and it's just like craziness. Like, you need a Xanax to get through it, which, like, when you're watching it, it's like really cool, but those are my favorite kinds of moments. I think that for me, I really like that.